I think it's undeniable now. We've been saying it all along, but we can't deny it. It's just a fact. The Mullett Magic is real.
Mullett Magic is real, Leah. And I tell you what, this is a team that beat the Coyotes 2 weeks ago, and it honestly, I don't know if it even looked close tonight. The Coyotes were good.
The Coyotes were good. Lots to talk about. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes postgame show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey. Craig will be calling from Mullett shortly. Boy, howdy. I feel like that's appropriate. This is the Predators. The Coyotes dominated this one.
Yeah, this one from beginning to end, I thought they looked like the better team. And it's funny how we keep saying these young players, but I tell you what, guys like Maccelli and McBain and this team looked good. When they play fast and they come out of the gates quick, they're a good hockey team. And what's happened, even against St. Louis, you look at goaltender hangs the team in it early. This wasn't the case. I thought the Coyotes looked good right from they had 18 shots in the first period. 18 shots in the first period. That's a game total for this team.
Yeah, it is. It is. They've scored fewer shots on goal in a game this year. 18 shots on goal was a season high, and they had 17 shots on goal 2 other times this season against the Rangers and the Canadiens. They lost both of those games. One of them was an overtime loss. And then, let's just get in the numbers right away, because their shot output tonight, 43 shots on goal. This is something we never see from the Coyotes. It's something we always see against them. Looking at 40 shots from Nashville, yeah, we're used to that. 43 shots from the Coyotes is a season high. Their previous season high was 39. They had that 2 times, once against Montreal, once against Anaheim, couple 36, 34, and then it didn't really ever come close. So just a crazy shot output. Their power play 1 for 4 successful. Their penalty kill was 6 for 6 against Nashville's power play. Besides the faceoff circle, which obviously didn't really matter for the final score tonight, they pretty much dominated all the categories they needed to tonight.
Yeah, this one, you start with the shots on goal. You get 43 shots on goal. You better score some goals. And this was a big offensive outburst for this team. But the big stat for me on this sheet is the penalty kill. The Nashville Predators going 0 for 6 on the power play. Last time they played Nashville a few weeks ago, Yotes gets 2 on the power play.
Yeah.
Tonight they held them off the score sheet on the power play. That's 2 consecutive games, 0 for 6, 0 for 6. That's 12 straight kills by this Coyotes team that hasn't been that good on the penalty kill this season. They've been average on the penalty kill. They haven't been great. This is 12 straight on the kill against, a really good power play tonight. And let's say this too. Nashville needs these wins.
Scott just pointed it out in the chat. The Coyotes are playing playoff spoiler. Preds are going to have a tough time making it in there now.
Agreed. This is they're right on that fringe trying to chase the Calgary Flames down first before they get into the wild card chase. This team needs to win, and they're desperate. And it's amazing how many teams come in here that are better on paper or in the standings and think, okay, I don't know if they think it's going to be easier or if it's just a mindset that you're playing in the Mullett and it feels like a preseason game. I don't know what it is. Teams have to be ready. They have to know the Coyotes are going to be good in this building. They have to. I'm pretty sure they have TVs in Nashville, don't they? They know that they're going to come into Mullett and this is going to be a battle. And the Coyotes just looked fast. And I guess the good news for the future of this team is they have a lot of young legs. I talk about J.J. Mosier on the back end looked great again tonight. I talk about Valimaki, and these young players make this team so quick. This is a fast hockey team playing against a desperate playoff team, and they still come out on top. And honestly, the third period, when you expected a huge push by the Predators, I know the shots got a little lopsided in the third period, but that's when the Coyotes were at their best in the third period. They get 3 goals in the third. They outscore the Predators 3-1. And you look at the Predators' goal, and I feel so bad for Prosvetov.
Oh, it was so close. You texted me. This is your fault because Petey texted me.
It's all my fault.
First shutout, and it was 2 minutes later.
Yeah. And so they get scored on a 6-on-5. And really, he makes the first save, even on the goal that goes in. He makes the first save, and the puck just kind of lays there on the rebound. And that's the only stretch where I felt like Nashville kind of tilted the ice towards the Coyotes. It's just that last minute with the net pulled.
Only with 4 minutes to go.
I know, but that's what I mean about this Coyotes. And when Keller, Schmaltz, and Hayton were on the ice, wow, like that line is just playing so well right now. And the big key, I'm finally so glad it got rewarded, because we talked about on the last show how Barrett Hayton is doing the little things right, and he's getting to the net, and he's being aggressive, getting to the blue paint. And he usually doesn't get rewarded. He pulls the defenders to him and leaves the open ice for Schmaltz and Keller. But tonight, he gets to the blue paint, and he finally gets that loose rebound that he's been waiting for. It takes 2 whacks at it, and he's able to get one in. So I'm really glad to see him get rewarded. That line was a scoring threat every time on the ice.
Absolutely. His 11th of the season, and it was that power play goal was Barrett Hayton. So very happy to see that. I love how we just kind of dove in and didn't even acknowledge the tank. I think we're just past that.
We're past it.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it. I love it. And it's so funny. Evie's in the chat commented, all this winning is boring. Petey, have any new puzzles yet? Evie's, imagine when we actually can like be happy about a win guilt-free.
I know.
I can't believe we're saying all this winning is boring. This is a tank year. They've barely won, although they've won more than we thought.
What about when we're getting to this point in the year where there's 18, 17, 16 games left and you're scratching for a playoff spot? Can you imagine what these games are going to be like? Like, oh my goodness, pull out the OGs because we're going to have a heck of a time getting like the stress. Like now they're stress free, even when they're winning or losing, it's stress free. When it matters, oh my goodness, it's going to be exciting. This team, all I can say is you these little glimpses get you excited about the future and the what ifs and what could be. And we didn't see that last year. That one stretch on their Eastern road trip at the end of the year, maybe, but not continually. And somebody in the chat said something about McBain and how exciting it is to watch McBain. I will say this, that kid has blown away the expectations I had for him. I thought he might be a 4th line guy that gets the net because the knock has always been his skating. Maybe he can't skate well enough. But everything he has done this season, and now with Bukestad being gone, he stepped up into an even a bigger role with Krause, and he just continues to impress me on the way he plays on both ends of the ice. So I can't wait to see what the ceiling is on Jack McBain and how far he can actually go in this league, because he's playing much, much better than I expected for him. And he gets his 10th goal of the season tonight.
Yeah, Jack McBain, 10 goals. You just said it. What a play from that whole line. That was a complete line effort. Maccelli going behind the net, setting up the Krause shot that led to McBain getting the rebound and the eventual goal. That the second line, we just talked about Hayton, Keller, and Schmaltz, but you can't discount even the Coyotes' second line. They've been a threat all season long, and ever since McBain has kind of slid in Bukestad's absence, he's really thrived, and it's really great to see him get on the score sheet.
Yeah, and you know one thing that you said, Leah, you look at those first 3 goals. The Schmaltz goal, it's an empty netter, and it iced this thing with under a minute to go. So put that one aside for now. But the first 3 goals of the game, the common theme and the common thread in those first 3 goals by the Coyotes is they shot the puck. They put the puck on net. You look at Ritchie's, Mosier, great shot, but what happens? Ritchie's going to the net. He comes out of the corner. He beats his check, or the Predator that he's out of the corner with, beats him to the net, tips the puck, it's in. Why? Because Mosier delivered it to the net. Barrett Hayton's goal on the power play, Keller delivers it to the net. Hayton's there for the rebound. McBain's, you talked about it, that pass by Maccelli. I watched that again, and we got the benefit of seeing it in slow motion. He puts that through 4 Predators in live speed. That is a phenomenal pass. I don't want to that was phenomenal pass by Maccelli. If you get a chance to see that again on Twitter, online, his ability to find Krause, his ability to make plays for a young player like that is absolutely elite. And that's why he's among the best in rookie scoring right now. But again, the goal is created because Krause delivers the puck to the net and McBain's there for the rebound. Shoot, get to the net. It's not that complicated. There's not that, you don't need to rate up the Philly in the end zone for the red zone for football. Shoot the puck, get to the net, and good things happen. And this team hasn't done that enough. And now they're finally learning it with under 20 games to go.
Yeah, I love it. The chat saying Maccelli Magic, excited about him in the future. And, we focus a lot on the Coyotes landing a top draft pick, and that is the most important thing. Obviously, I'm not saying it's not, but it's cool to think about what the Coyotes have now that's going to be part of the future. Players like Maccelli, players like Mosier, maybe Valimaki as well. It's just fun to think about that. There is a lot of potential, and that's really what we've seen here and what the coaching staff has brought out of these guys. And that's why they hired Andre Tourigny when they did, because he's known to develop young players well. And development has really been the thing that's been missing in this organization's history. And we're kind of watching players develop in front of our very eyes. And maybe it's going against the larger task at hand, but I am keeping the positivity that Sean put out there in the universe, that the Coyotes are winning and therefore they will be rewarded by the hockey gods. I'm sticking to it.
You talk about young players too. There's another young player we haven't even started to talk about today, a 24-year-old Russian that has played in his first game for the Coyotes this season. Am I right? Yeah,
This
is the
season,
first
yep.
game he's played this season. Wow, he had 3 last year and 3 in 2021, but his first game of the year.
And his first NHL win as well. Ivan Prosvetov. What a random thing that happened today. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, first of all, can we talk about pronunciation? We've been saying Prosvetov, and now it's Prosvetov. So anyway, we're just going to go with Prosvetov, and we're sticking with it. But this morning, at the morning skate, he's not there. He's not at the morning skate.
You and I were trying to find out who was starting, and we couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, so I figured it had to be Ingram, and then an hour later, they call up Prosvetov, and you go, well, maybe somebody got sick, or no, we're just going to see how the kid can play.
Yep.
I.e., the goaltending's been good, and we've been winning games, and we're still trying to get towards the bottom of the standing. So let's throw an American Leaguer at it and see what happens.
And you know what happens? Arizona is where goalies go to thrive. I saw somebody tweeted. Somebody literally tweeted tonight, like, I just want to see what the Coyotes can turn me into if they put me in there.
It's true though. You thought for sure this kid hasn't played in this. He played 3 games last year, none this year in the National Hockey League, and he's been average in the American League. So he said, okay, Preds, look at this offense. And the Preds needs to win. Oh, well, let's hang this poor kid out to dry. No, almost pitches his first NHL shutout. Almost. Sorry, that might be my fault.
So close. Yeah, he was unreal tonight. He had a crazy save in the second period. I don't know how it even happened. It was just unbelievable. Just a crazy sequence to end the second period there. He did what he needed to do. And like you said, Nashville kind of came to play in the third, and he faced the test, faced the challenge, and really did well, and did what the Coyotes goalies have been doing all season, which is giving the team a chance to win. And granted, Nashville, they weren't coming heavy with shots in the first half of the game, but if you look at the shot totals to end the game, that's a lot of shots. That's a Coyotes goalie initiation, and we've talked enough about it, so I think it's time we can crown Ivan Prosvetov, or Prosvetov, we'll find out, tonight's DraftKings king of the game. 39 saves. That's good for a .974 save percentage and his first NHL win. So close to his first NHL shutout. But Ivan, hopefully this gives him confidence. I doubt the Coyotes plan to keep him up here long. Roadrunners are trying to make the playoffs, trying to go on a playoff run, which is good. I'm actually glad this happened because it's a mental game for goalies. And I think having a win, and not just a win like the one he had, will only help his confidence.
Yeah, and the interesting thing for me, because I've watched Prosvetov play a lot since he was drafted by the Coyotes and kind of watched his development. But you see a kid now, he's 24. He's been with the organization for a while, but he's still just a kid. He's only 24 years old. You look at Carell, who's young. He's 26. Prosvetov's 6'5". And one of the things, he's always been incredibly athletic, incredibly competitive. The knock on him has always been, there's always that one goal that gets by him. He can play great, make unbelievable saves, acrobatic saves, but then there's that one that sneaks by that he wish he could get back. And tonight he didn't have that. This is the first time that I've seen him in the National Hockey League where he looked calm, in control, and big. When he looked big, and you talked about that play at the end of the second period where he makes, the 2 quick saves and the one into the empty net. I mean, it's going to be an empty net and he gets his glove on it. I thought he looked big. He looked calm. And this is the best I've seen him look here. So again, the reason you bring him up is exactly what they did. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. You need to find out what you have. And is the guy you need to re-sign to make sure you keep him in your organization. And the only way you can find that out is if you play him. So I understand why they're playing him. He's a guy that they had hoped was their goalie of the future, and he's kind of had a few setbacks over the last 2 seasons in the American League, but I thought he looked really good tonight, and I hope he gets another opportunity. To your point, he'll go back to Tucson and keep continuing to see if they can make the playoff run down there, but I hope we get to see him again to see if he can get that consistent game here before the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely, because his numbers in Tucson haven't been crazy good. 306 goals against average for 900 save percentage in 35 games this season. Granted, the Roadrunners are in 7th. I think they're still in 7th, but they're, right on the bubble of being in that playoff race. So, though Craig loves his goals saved above average stats, I don't know where to find that for the AHL. But yeah, like you said, he came to play tonight, and it's Mark in the chat. Is Carter Hutton available? And then Ethan said, wouldn't mind Peter Mrazek. I know it's crazy, but it doesn't matter. Peter Mrazek would come here and have the best year of his career.
He would.
Like, it's just,
he would. Like it's they can't help it. Like, this is the way this happened. Like, I really believe they thought there was a 2-pronged attack here. I think, yes, you need to see what you have as a free agent, but I also thought, hey, our goalies have been really good here. Like, I'm sure the Connor Bedard in the back of their head goes, hey, maybe we should put a different goalie in. And I tell you what, they can't lose at the Mullett. They can't lose. I don't know. Bring on the next team. So what we need to do, and we need a research department on this, is you look at the wins at the Mullett this year. Right. And we've talked about Boston. We've talked about Colorado. We've talked about Vegas. Who is the most recent one that with Tampa in the big shot? I would like to know if anybody and Toronto has beaten all of those teams at home this season in their building.
Yeah.
And now if you talk about Boston, you have to scratch Boston out of the list because they can't beat themselves. So they clearly haven't beaten all those teams. I'm curious. I'm just curious. So we're going to have to get a research team on that because this is how good this team is at the Mullett. I don't know if it's just a 1-year thing and people are going to figure it out, and the boards and the ice and the lights and the hotels and the differences. But for now,
Caleb's
Magic,
comment,
it's real.
Coyotes versus 1980 Miracle on ice team. Nobody taking the Miracle team versus us at the Mullett.
That's right.
Love it. Before we move on, I don't want to lose track of it. We do have a super chat from our friend Altex. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat. We appreciate you. He said, this is just a thank you for all love in return. Personally, use this to get a couple delicious Four Peaks drinks next time you're out of Legal Pete's on me. Altex, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hopefully one day you can come out to the desert and join us at Illegal Pete's or at Four Peaks, but we will definitely take you up on that. I don't need an excuse to go drink a Four Peaks beer, Petey.
And Altex understands the assignment. Throw a couple of sponsors' names in the super chat. Like, yes,
I love.
I'm still kind of
Altex with the assist on the ad read.
Did you see Altex tweet today?
Yes,
about
so
Schmaltz, the lip reading Schmaltz thing. Classic.
Good stuff.
Fantastic.
But if you're not everyone got the invite to Craig's St. Patrick's Day party. I know. So if you didn't get the invite, the best place to spend St. Patty's Day is at Four Peaks 8th Street Pub. Hang out with your favorite degenerates, the people who didn't get the invite to Craig's St. Patrick's Day party, and enjoy a damn good time. No better place I can think of. Don't tell Craig. Just St. Patrick's Day. Yeah. Maybe we'll swing by. Well, that can be the pregame, Petey. We'll pregame at Four Peaks 8th Street Pub. Then we'll Uber because 21 and older, enjoy responsibly, to Craig's St. Patrick's Day party, and we can come with Four Peaks beer in tow. So looking forward to that.
Can't wait.
Also, the chat is saying it's 4-3 Seattle now. What a game. That game started 3-0 Ottawa. Now it's 4-3 Seattle. And you want to hear something crazy, Petey?
I do.
Our coworker, Owen.
It's 4-4.
Oh, it's 4-4, but still crazy game. Our coworker, Owen, who is on the PHNX Rising podcast, has a layover in Seattle. And he was saying to me, should I go to a Kraken game? And I said, you definitely should. So this is not made up. This is a true story. So for like the last 2 weeks, Owen has been checking Game Time on his phone, looking at these tickets. So on Tuesday night, when you and I were at the studio, and Sean and I went to go get ice cream. And then Sean and I came back, and Owen said, in the time that you and Sean went to get ice cream and came back, I bought tickets on Game Time. So Owen is at this game in Seattle, like watching this unbelievable game. He has no rooting interest. It's just a great hockey game. And he got his tickets on Game Time. And he even told me, he said he opened Ticketmaster and saw that they were $20 more expensive there. He definitely got them cheapest on Game Time. So what can I say? It's a true success story. So if you want to be like Owen and go to an amazing game,
like
I mean, speaking of Four Peaks beer, check out the Game Time app, save up to 60% when you buy your tickets last minute. And the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link below in our description. All right. Well, he's here, so let's bring him in. It's Craig.
Leah, are you being held hostage somewhere?
I know.
We haven't talked about her studio setup right now. It
looks like Petey and I are in the same room because paint, my wall colors.
She's just sitting over on the other corner. Yeah, she's just in the other corner. Yeah,
this is my temporary home setup. I promise you, when I'm at home, it will not always be a crazy blank wall, but still in the process of getting everything set up. So this is the best I can do. Oh man. But Craig.
Yeah.
The Coyotes are too good at home.
They're really good at home. You know what I did tonight? I started going through home records for the Coyotes throughout their history, and they've got 11 games left at home. So with the way they've been playing, how many games do you think they could win?
4.
Only 4 out of 11.
6.
Okay. See, that's what I was thinking too, Leah. 6 wins. You know what that would equal then? That would be 22 wins, which is also the amount of wins they had in 2011-12 when they went to the Western Conference Final.
I was about to leave the show. Like they're in a tank season, Craig. They're supposed to be losing for Bedard.
I got a couple fun anecdotes because we just had Bill on the show, and I love how transparent he is about this. They're having fun with this. The players are literally giving him crap about it when they win games. He walks past us, the media, as he's going into the locker room. He looks at us. He goes, "Big win." And then Andre is giving me hell about not showing up for the skate today. Say, "Oh, you come here because it's closer." I'm like, "Well, I'll come. Are you practicing?" Yeah, I'll see you at the ice tent. I said, "Wait, are you actually practicing?" He goes, "No, we don't need to practice anymore. We just win games."
We just win games.
So they're having fun with this. They're having fun with this, and you got to feel good for these guys. In spite of the thing that we've talked about, that thing 100 times, this team's winning, and this team might get on a crazy little roll. Like, I was looking at the standings, and I think they're a point behind Montreal now. They could catch Montreal. They could catch Vancouver. They could catch St. Louis.
They can catch Philly. Maybe St. Louis. I don't think they can catch Detroit, but that's it. That would be. I think that's the ceiling. But Craig, they played well. It wasn't just the goalie that kept them in it. This team looked good. They looked fast. They looked young. They got pucks to the net. They drove to the net. This was a team win tonight. The goalie was good, but it wasn't. They didn't win because of the goalie. They were the better team.
Yeah, and Andre talked about that too. He said we've been so reliant on Veggie and Connor Ingram the way they played that we've been too reliant on them. They've been carrying us. So this was sort of a wake up call to say, hey, we better dial it in. And I really thought, at least through the first couple periods, they really did dial it in, blocking shots. They were just all out to play well in front of Ivan Prosvetov, but he also played well tonight. He was good in goal. He got the call around noon or a little earlier than that. He said he was on the bike riding. And he was like, really? Okay, I'm coming up. So he's on his way up in the early afternoon. Todd Walsh asks him, what were you thinking about as you're driving up? And he's like, traffic. I was hoping I'd make it on time.
So that traffic from Tucson to here between noon and 2 o'clock, that's when you're napping. That's your nap time. And he was driving from Tucson.
Right. Yeah. Wow. And also, that drive, like they've widened most of it to 3 lanes, but not like the area that needs it the most. That's still 2 lanes when you get near the valley.
Oh, it's awful. I used to do that drive horrible. A million times.
That's incredible. That's incredible that he didn't get the call until almost lunchtime. That's phenomenal.
Crazy. Yeah, that was just such a shocking move today, and nobody knew what was going on. And then you think, okay, well, Like maybe he hadn't won before in the NHL.
Yeah.
He's had an okay season in Tucson, and then he freaking was lights out. 39 saves.
And that's encouraging, right? It's one game, obviously, so
Yeah.
you don't want to jump to any conclusions.
No, but good for your confidence.
Absolutely. And this is a guy that's been in their system for a while now that they're hoping will emerge. He's going to be a restricted free agent at the end of the season with arbitration rights. I'm not sure he has much of an argument in arbitration, but it's coming to the point where they need to decide whether he's a part of this franchise for the future. Because, like, after that, I don't know if he'll be with the franchise if he doesn't take a step forward. And this one game obviously isn't going to change their minds one way or the other. But maybe this does give him a boost of confidence. He will be back in Tucson for the playoffs. They really want the Roadrunners to make the playoffs. It's still nip and tuck, although they have a little bit of a lead in seventh place. They could even climb up a little higher in the standings. They really want that team in the postseason. So maybe this gives him a little bit of boost to get some confidence from playing well in the NHL.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we haven't even finished talking about the game yet, so I feel like we should just do that with you, Craig, if you're down.
Yeah.
And you can be here for this. And I'm not forgetting, I'm not saving it for the third segment. We're doing it now. Let's read Petey's keys and see how.
We'll go quick because Craig's here. Yossi, would you say they stopped Roman Yossi?
I would say that the Nashville Predators looked awful tonight.
Ding.
Power play. Preds. See, that's a typo. It's Preds PK was perfect in their last 6 games.
You wrote PP.
Well, I might have written PP, but our power play, their PK, and the Coyotes get a power play goal. So that's a ding. Goaltending again. And 3 dings equals a Coyote win.
Yeah. I was I had it queued up with Roman Yossi in particular because he's like a 2-point per game player against the Coyotes.
And he had his opportunities.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I didn't think Nashville really dialed it in until much later in the game. They didn't look very good to me tonight, which was surprising because even though, they're probably headed toward a rebuild of sorts, the way the 2 teams ahead of them are playing, Winnipeg and Calgary, they still have a chance to get in the playoffs, but they didn't play with that sort of urgency tonight.
Yeah, they didn't, especially with all of those power plays. And it's I think this is one of those games they're going to look at and they go, this is the game we had to win.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of teams will be saying that about their loss at Mullett.
Mullett, yeah.
Wild. By the way, Brett Ritchie, we touched on his goal, but his first game as a Coyote finally made it down here after all his visa issues. First goal as a Coyote, 7th goal of the season. So great to see him right in on the action. We saw Mackey get points in his first 2 games. Not tonight. He was more so in the penalty box tonight, but trying to help the Coyotes lose, maybe. I'm just kidding. Yeah. That was a complete joke. But and then Nick Schmaltz continuing his crazy goal scoring performance. Now has 21 on the season. I know it was an empty net goal, but it still counts. And Keller just continuing to rack up points. So
Keller have 1 or 2 tonight. I didn't even check the final sheet. Was it? Because I didn't see what happened on the empty netter.
At least 2.
He had 2. Yeah, he had 2.
So I think he's at a point per game pace now.
The Hayton and that was his 39th assist.
Well, Schmaltz and the Hayton.
Amazing, right?
Assisted, yeah.
Brett Ritchie, we talked to him. He's actually been here for several days. He just couldn't work. Obviously, without a work visa.
Well, if you're going to be stuck in Scottsdale versus
that's what he said.
Calgary.
He's like, the last time we came here with Calgary, it was rainy and kind of cold. We didn't like that. But he's like, I got here and I'm like, I've just been hanging out. I went golfing with somebody. It's like, oh, so you got to know the Valley pretty well. And I also, of course, asked him the question about swapping with his brother.
Yes.
He said the house swap is actually going to happen. The problem right now is each of their fiancés are still living in the city where they were. And of course, we're all thinking, wait, you're not going to say it, right? Thank God he didn't say, yeah, we're just going to swap fiancés. But they're going to be swapping houses at some point soon. So Bill was right. It is cheap housing.
That's another show Leah's watching on Netflix, by the way. Fiancé swap.
Fiancé swap probably is.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fiancé swap UK.
Yeah. But I tell you what, for him, he did the right thing. Craig got to the net, bigger body. I thought that he's going to fit right in with this group. Skates well enough.
Gave him pace. Yeah, I gave him pace tonight too. I didn't mind his game at all tonight.
Oh man. Well, we talked about Tucson already to do with, is it Prosvetov or Prosvetov?
Prosvetov.
Okay.
Prosvetov.
Oh, well, of course,
Okay.
Prosvetov.
Ivan Prosvetov. No, he doesn't roll the P, sorry.
That was an accident.
We talked about Tucson's quest for the playoffs, and the Coyotes
Why you have to be mad, Petey? Why you have to be mad? Sorry, I'm channeling Leah Bruskalov right now.
The Coyotes actually made a minor league move today to acquire defenseman Steven Kampfer from the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for our favorite future considerations. Kampfer
$1.
Yep, Kampfer played.
Did you know that's what future considerations is?
I did,
it's
but
$1.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm doing the trading places thing.
It's all good.
It was for $1. That's Leah doesn't get that either. She didn't know fast times. How the hell she know trading places?
$1.
The usual one. That was over $1. Never mind. Eddie Murphy. Never mind. Dan Aykroyd.
All right. In 44 games played with Grand Rapids this season, 4 goals, 18 assists, 22 points, 26 penalty minutes for Steven Kampfer. I know it's a minor move, but it goes to show that Bill Armstrong and the Coyotes are thinking about their AHL club, in my opinion.
Yeah, but you look at he's an NHL guy. He's played 231 games in the National Hockey League. He's 35 years old. It's a veteran guy, 34, I'm sorry. He's a 34-year-old veteran player that's going to help that team down in the American League. You need veteran players to win in the American League. I know it's a developmental league and you get all those young kids, but you need guys like Steven Kampfer if you're going to make a run in the playoffs. And I think that was a huge deal to show them that they're serious.
Yeah, and when you look at what's happened to that team on defense, first of all, Lucas Cloak left the team early in the season to go back for a personal situation. Maybe he'll come back at some point, but that was a guy that they counted on having for a long time. Victor Soderstrom's up here, so they've had some defections that they didn't expect. I guess you can say maybe you thought Soto was going to be here at some point this season, but that wasn't assured. So you want to give them the best chance. Again, there's a balance, right? You want to give guys NHL looks, and they're doing some of that, but you want to make sure that team wins and can play meaningful games at the end of the season in the playoffs. Steven Kampfer is going to help them in more ways than leadership. He's probably going to help their power play. So that's a good pickup, and he's a free agent at the end of the season. So, and Grand Rapids wasn't going to the playoffs, so it made sense to make this sort of deal. Hopefully Tucson can, not only get in the playoffs, but maybe they can do a little damage if they can climb a little higher. It would be nice to see that team have a little bit of a run.
And Nate brought up a good point. You talked about Cracknell. He's also been a huge leader for the team. He's another guy playing over 30 in the American League. And I've talked to the coaching staff there, and they said he's been a huge piece of their success because he's almost like having an extra coach on the ice because of his experience in both the National Hockey League and in the American League.
Nicholas said, "Is future considerations any good? I don't remember ever hearing about him in Tucson."
Never seems to contribute. Yeah, no matter
where
he goes.
He's a suitcase in this league, man. You
Seriously.
See him going everywhere. We got another super chat from Alltex, $5. Said, "Got to point this out real quick. Pretty sure Fanatics employees are spying on me because they're selling a Cassian sublimated plaque. Yes, I bought it. I wouldn't expect anything less."
Yeah, that'll go Alltex.
Anything else related to this game before we move on to our final topic with you, Craig?
No, just wanted. It was cool to see Barry Trotz in the building tonight.
Yeah,
and I talked to him briefly because he was talking to a lot of people. Of course, Long Island University's here to play ASU in the final season series of the season for the Sun Devils. He's talking to their coaches like that's who Barry Trotz is. He's just such a good human being. It's a really cool story to see him back with the franchise where he made his name as a coach, obviously. But I really loved that succession plan for the Predators. David Poile did an unbelievable job with his franchise for so many years, and he did it a lot of those years in conjunction with Barry Trotz on the bench. So it's a nice little handoff. It was good to see Barry again. Literally one of the best guys that I've met around this game. And always open, always accessible for any kind of media whatsoever. If he barely remembered your face, and he remembers a lot of faces, he still had time for you.
Yeah, he really great. So glad to see him. We'll really be interested to see how he does once he takes the reins this summer. All right, last thing we want to talk about. It feels like now this was so many hours ago, so much has happened since then, but I don't want to bury it because it's really, really cool. Today, it was announced that the Premier Hockey Federation Championship, the Isobel Cup, will be played at Mullett Arena on March 26th at 6 p.m. Really, really, really cool that this event is happening here. I think Mullett is a really great venue and a really great opportunity for anybody here listening to see professional women's hockey live in person. And not just that, a championship game, any championship game is a game worth watching. So I highly recommend trying to get tickets to that. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and we are working. I've spoken to their media contact. We're going to have someone on our show. I can tell you that in the week leading up to that game. I'm not sure if it's going to be a player or a league official, but we'll get someone on the show to talk about it too, because it would be nice to see this thing grow a little bit. I mean, cool. It'd be cool to have a team out here, right?
Absolutely.
I'd like to see that league expand big time. Yeah. Go ahead.
Question.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah, do you have to raise your
26th?
hand now? Is this because you lost?
You should do your ding.
Is that what happened?
I know it's the 26th, right?
Yes.
March 26th.
Yes.
Have you looked at the Coyote schedule?
Yes, they have a game that day
at
noon.
Are they sharing the ice?
It'll be
The
over.
game's at night. Yeah, it'll be over.
Oh, so here's my point. There's an actual double header in the Mullett.
Oh yeah, we've
on the
been waiting for
26th.
this all year. Yeah,
Been waiting for it all year. So we, meaning the PHNX Coyotes crew, are going to watch the Colorado Avalanche game. We're going to do a show live, and then we're going to tune in either in person, on TV, somewhere, and we get to see the second game in the same day. It's like a baseball doubleheader.
Amazing.
Yes, let's go.
Yep, can't wait. So there's 4 teams left: Boston Pride, Toronto 6, Connecticut Whale, and Minnesota Whitecaps. Hey, Minnesota, give me Minnesota, Toronto.
Give me Minnesota, Toronto. If it is, Leah, we're going.
We have to wager
Minnesota, Toronto. Let's go, Minnie. I love it.
Let's go, Connecticut Whale. Connecticut Whale.
Oh my God!
That's where I went to school. That's where I went to school. So.
Oh,
fantastic!
My gosh, that's unreal. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, Craig, anything else before we let you go for the evening?
No, just wanted to remind everyone that Leah and I were on the winning team in game show. Okay. Petey was not, and it was. What's the term they use for it? Beatdown? I think that's what they say. Little kids say. So.
Oh man.
All right, there will be redemption someday, somehow. I don't know when and where, but
we should do it with our diehards. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
That's a great idea, actually. I like that idea.
Yeah, a diehard meetup.
All right, guys. I will see you on Saturday for the Coyotes win over the Avalanche.
Yep, can't wait.
Wait, that's an actual road game, so maybe they won't win that one.
Yeah, true.
This team's a wagon.
They're a wagon.
They're a wagon.
Oh my God.
What do they have? Like 14 goals in their last 3 games? Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, Greg. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys. See ya.
All right. Bye. Oh,
do you know they have the Avalanche 3 more times this year?
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
And that they're in their same division. What a weird schedule. You know, Petey, the thing that I don't like about being home is I really want the Circle K snack cart right now.
I was thinking about this when I saw that there was a Circle K read today. I was going, what the actual F is going to happen to our snack cart?
Since now I'm convinced that we're in the same thing, we need the cart to roll through.
Yes.
Both of
but believe me, I will be, now that I knew that's not a thing. Yes, for the Colorado game, I will be shopping at Circle K because between the orange slices and now the new salt and pepper chips.
The salt and pepper is a game changer.
Fire. Yeah, they are really
game changer for me. So we're really excited. Obviously, we're really excited to partner with our friends at Circle K. And to kick things off, we've teamed up for an amazing giveaway opportunity. Text PHNX to 31310 for an opportunity to win a $500 gas card.
$500.
So the PHNX 31310 to win a $500 gas card. I want it. So take out your phones right now. Do it. The code's on the screen. See the show notes.
Turns out we can't win
more
it, though, Leah.
Details.
Otherwise, we would try to win it.
I know.
Because I would try to win it. Because that's what it cost me to get to the studio and back.
But after you pick up your snacks from Circle K,
then where do I
get home? You get home.
What do I do then?
And you take an OG's because OG's and snacks, I mean, match made in heaven. Orange creamsicle, strawberries and cream, blackberries and cream, the sleep edition, the microdose, anything you need, OG's has it. And we love them because they're local, scratch made here in Arizona. And they do a lot of really fun cool things, and they're just great, and they taste amazing. So if you haven't tried them, definitely check out OGs. Listen, I need them at the end of the season when we can kind of take a deep breath. Catch me with some OGs. And the strawberries and cream flavor, like I mentioned, the Happy Balance gummies are live on the shelves. You can find them at your local dispensary by checking out ogsbrands.com. You must be 21 or older to enjoy. Petey, is there anything that we haven't talked about from the game? I'm just going over my notes, making sure we didn't miss anything.
I think we're giving flowers to everybody. I will say this. Josh Brown's defensive work on the penalty kill, elite. And then he did the intermission interview. And we've talked about Josh Brown all the time. Like, no matter how many times we see Josh Brown, at least I go, who is that again?
It's kind of shtick now, but it's really fun. It's like, that's our inside joke.
He was really good interview. Like he was very articulate and sharp. And that was a great interview. And I've said it all season. I thought he'd be the guy that got traded at the trade deadline. And now he's one of those experienced guys that didn't. That he's helping these young guys when you look at the back end of Soderstrom and JJ Mosier and Valimaki, and you look at that and they can look at Josh Brown and go, okay, he shows them the way. And I think it's huge that he's staying here for these last 18 games of this season. And I thought he's a guy that we don't talk enough about because the things he does are so underrated. That he defends, he has a good stick, he gets into the corners. He's physical. He competes. He blocks shots. All of those things get overlooked sometimes because they're not the glamorous goal scoring thing. So I wanted to make sure he gets recognized at some point here because I think it's important that he's on this roster for these young guys.
Yep, absolutely. So glad you gave him his flowers.
And were the referees trying to, like, do they have a quota? You know how at the end of the month you always hear police officers are trying to get their ticket quota up and they hide behind,
or like car salesmen are
trying to get their quota. Them, but were the referees like, we got a quota to meet today? Like, there were a lot of penalties.
I thought, by the way, when Nick Schmaltz took a penalty 26 seconds into this game, I was like, uh-oh, here we go. Yep. It didn't turn out that way as far as the Coyotes doing badly, but it did set the tone for the refs calling this one. It's crazy. Usually this is the point of the show where I look around at the other teams in the tank conversation, how they did tonight. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it to me. The Ottawa Kraken game is still 4-4 with 5 minutes to go.
Does anyone have to catch a plane tonight? Is it just a layover? Like, did he take a ride from the airport to the arena and going back to the airport and flying?
No, I think he's spending the night.
He's spending the night. Oh, yeah. He was. And
then he's flying
connecting flight
to Charleston. His connection was Phoenix to Seattle to Charleston.
Yeah, that's travel agents should be fired. Although it's a great game.
Like, yeah, I mean,
fire
paid off. I'm glad that I talked him into going to that.
Did you talk to Sean DePaz today about his club?
Well, I did text him and he conveniently didn't respond.
Yeah, because I'm sure.
Granted, he's in Vegas and he's working and busy, but
that team got thumped tonight. The Dallas Stars put up 10.
That was crazy.
In Buffalo, 10-4.
You better hope ASU takes it home, or he's gonna have had a.
So is that game going on right now?
It is. It's halftime. ASU's up 39-25 on the USC.
And did U of A play already?
Yes,
you got the U of A on.
They did, and they won. Back the A. So if ASU wins, that's the game tomorrow.
Is it? They play head-to-head tomorrow? Oh no, Mike Luke. He's going to be outnumbered there. Back the A. Can't wait. So I'll be tuning into that tomorrow too. Do we have hockey tomorrow? We don't have hockey tomorrow.
We don't have hockey tomorrow. We actually are off tomorrow, but we should look ahead at the schedule. And now I understand why the Coyotes never practice, especially if they're winning this much, because when would they have time? On the road to Colorado on Saturday, hopefully they'll finally lose.
They'll fly tomorrow. So our day off, they're flying. Oh.
Yep. Bummer. Hey, Minnesota's here Sunday, then it's Calgary, then it's Vancouver, and then Chicago, all at home. They're just home all the time and playing all the time. And it's just a bizarre stretch of the season. But we're almost to the end.
And those are a couple of really big. I know we're talking about the tank, but the Vancouver and Chicago, those are teams that they're directly competing with in Chicago right now. we'll see what that team looks like now with Max Domi gone and Patrick Kane gone, and we'll see how they look in the Mullett in just over a week. And Rick Tockett's return is
Oh,
coming
I
in on
didn't even think about that.
Thursday. And are we doing something special on Thursday?
We are, but I don't know if we're saying it yet.
Okay.
But
that's cool.
Just stay tuned. Just stay tuned.
Just stay tuned for something special against the Vancouver
really
Canucks.
Fun stuff planned. And if you're not going to that game, just
if you're not
stay
going to
locked in on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. I guess that's what I'll
okay.
say.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff.
All right. Well, before we head out, we gotta look at the punch card. Duh. See how we're faring on this line. 2 wins to start a punch card. It's never been done.
Never been done on the punch card. Never been done.
Unreal.
And 4 is a record, and they'll beat 4. They'll get 4
on this line,
won't they? Won't they?
I think so.
I just can't believe how close we're getting to the end of this punch card. And then we get to go back to our summer shows, and we get to talk about road trips and trade deadlines. Are we doing Trade Talk Tuesdays again?
I don't know. We have to come out. I know.
We need to start with new ideas. We ran out of trades.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, looking forward to
it. Playoffs are coming. We got all kinds of great playoff shows. We get playoff preview shows.
Yeah, we already have
can't wait.
Guests planned. Really excited. So, I mean, I know the season's wrapping the Coyotes, but it's funny because Mark just said get to know draft prospects 5 through 12. Well, Mark, once the Coyote season ends, we're only talking about the draft pretty much and the playoffs for the other teams, but the draft for the Coyotes until the draft. So you'll be familiar. We'll make sure everybody is familiar with not just the top 5, not just the top 10, but probably to the top 15. And we'll see, we'll know more once the Coyotes pull their lottery ball and we'll know what range they're actually in. We're going to talk to the experts. We're going to talk to all the same experts we talked to last year. And we'll make sure that when we get to Nashville or you're watching it on TV, that you can look at the draft board and confidently know who all those players are. I assure you that is our goal over these next couple months. So we hope you subscribe to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel so you don't miss any of those shows and become a diehard at gophnx.com. Support Craig's great work and all the other great work of the talented writers at gophnx.com. So you can read their weekly diehard only articles, but most of it is free and unlocked. So I implore you to definitely check out all the content on the website. But being a diehard, you also get access to our Discord, which has been a ton of fun. You get 20% off merchandise, such as the Kevin Durant shirt, although that's a whole thing. That's the Sun Show. Can talk about that.
We're not going.
Not on this show. We're not going there. The Assassin's shirt, just some really great merch, and 20% off events, including our upcoming PHNX Tea Party, which, Petey, we had a great time at the last tea party. So,
and it'll be warmer too.
It'll be warmer. Friday, March 24th. We'll be at Dobson Ranch for a night of golf, food, drinks, contest prizes, and more. The PHNX crew, fellow Suns fans, diehards, we'll all be out there watching KD Booker, hopefully KD actually, Booker and the Suns battle in the final stretch of games of the season as they take on the Sacramento Kings. So check the link in the show notes to reserve your spot today. And diehards, check Discord for your exclusive discount link. Okay. All right. Anything else?
I just wanted to recap a few of those great show ideas from the summer. We talked about Craig Wonders. That's definitely over the summer. What stressed PD out today? That's also going in. So, and
drunk history, Nicholas. We've talked about it.
And I think that drunk history, there's a lot of production involved in that, but gotta happen. And day drinking in Scottsdale, yeah, for sure. But
maybe that's how we get drunk for the drunk history.
Yes. But I like it. And it's just around the corner, but we do have to get ready for the draft and all the things along with it and the ping pong balls. And hopefully the hockey gods shine upon this team that has done it the right way this season.
Exactly. Well, everybody in the chat, we appreciate you being here. Be sure to like this video, whether you're watching live or later. And if you're listening on audio, like, subscribe, leave us a review wherever you get your podcast. It means a lot to us. And you can follow us on Twitter at Leah Merrill, at S. Peters Hockey, at Craig S. Morgan. Follow Sean. Give him a shout about his Buffalo Sabres at Sean_DePaz.
Probably hold off on the Sabre mention today.
You can follow PHNX Sports across all the social platforms. You can follow our show at PHNX_Coyotes. Off tomorrow. Stay locked in on PHNX Sports YouTube. There's always stuff going up every day of the week. But we'll be back Saturday after the Arizona Coyotes take on the Colorado Avalanche. But until then, enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy your Friday, and we'll see everybody on Saturday.